Bonjour. This December I'm doing 3 readathons. The Reindeer readathon, which is all month, the historical romance readathon, which ends on the 12th, I think starts on the 6th, and the Sprintathon, which starts on the 13th and I'm not sure when it ends. I mention this because I got the TBR uploaded yesterday and I forgot to list a book for the Reindeer readathon. I put a book on historical romance readathon and also on the Sprintathon, so I will be going back to the drawing board a little bit. Good evening. So I've decided to spend the rest of the night trying to continue setting up my shelves. And while I was doing that, I found this. It was released last month, Synopticon. It is a celebration of Chinese science fiction. It's translated works. The prompt that I forgot to fill in for the Reindeer readathon was a standalone book, and I feel like this counts, so when I update it, that's what I'm going to be adding in. It snowed again. I'm gonna just have a wee turn around the garden. I had a not great turn myself earlier, so I'm gonna just give myself a wee while to see if it settles. There's this ice cream place, I think in Birmingham, that I've been wanting to try for a while, called Yiquan, and Frolic is their vegan kind of umbrella, and Mum very kindly got me the sample selection, so I'm gonna try and treat myself and hopefully it doesn't make me feel worse. Good news is that the ice cream was great. It was sweet, lightly sweet and subtle and delicious. The bad news is I still haven't started any books for the readathon. I have 35 of my currently reading, so I picked up In a Glass Darkly, and I got like a page and a half in. I did not read a page and a half, my eyes kept skipping words, so we're just gonna... Yeah, I don't know how to fix that. So, it is not my favourite. It has an artificial sweetness that's kind of like Smarties, but it's so artificially sweet that it kind of tastes bitter. Like it's so sweet it's crossed into bitter. I don't know if that makes sense. While I finish my drink, I'm going to try and finish the third story, Mr. Just Harbottle, from In a Glass Darkly. I know this is a cornerstone work, but I find it at best quite boring, with the exception of Camilla, which I adore anyway, but I'm really excited to start taking notes this time for my retelling. And speaking of writing, I've started another nano challenge exclusively for December, and I'll be working on Autumn Moon. I did manage to stay awake for Critical Role. Not the best decision I've ever made. I've already been in the pits energy wise, but I can recoup, even if it takes me till next week. I can recoup. Coconut hot chocolate today.
Oh wow, okay.
So we've finally gotten a good hot chocolate. It is actually delicious, which I'm surprised by. I'm not the best with lactose, so I've had like hot chocolate made with coconut milk, and that's serviceable, but this is really lovely. Also, I decided to treat myself to some ice cream. The vegan ones, I guess, were all on the top. This is salted caramel. I got to one Romancing the Gothic Talk, but I've been asleep all day, really. Is a lie, actually. I got 1,272 words written in what I'm calling my December dash, my hopefully complete draft of Autumn Moon. And I turned out that I was sitting on the USB, so I had to drag out my new laptop and type it all up again. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot the last time I was in here. That shelf. I forgot to say that is like book 1 in a series, and then also like books 2 and 3, like Winter Song and then Shadow Song. Then it is books I've recently completed but don't have, I can't categorize them yet because everything is in a mess. Also, those are arcs and art books, which shouldn't be there, but I don't really have anywhere for them right now proper. The buddy read is over. My friend finished, I did not. Still about halfway. We've started the next one, which is Midnight Library, which takes me up to 36 I'm currently reading. And you will notice that I still haven't started on any of the readathons. Yeah. Hello, we are going out today. Going to see Encanto in cinema. I thought it was in Disney Plus, and it wasn't. So we're going. I have managed to have a breakout of like spots on the one day of the month that I'm going out of the house, and I'm very upset about that. It was fantastic. It was gorgeous, and I loved the music, and it was so touching. I mean, it is getting increasingly easier to make me cry. Funny thing is, though, I think because we were all only two there, they forgot to put the lights down until after the movie had started. So guess who started Liar's Dice? We had a good talk at book group. I didn't read the book. Covered like chronotopes versus liminal space, and I kind of what happens in Vegas kind of way. It was really fun. Death on the Nile was the book. I'm having a really bad time with Matt Haig's The Midnight Library in a really kind of interesting way. There was this really good Twitter thread that I've linked to a few times before talking about like reading and readership and audience need, talking about like hug boxing, which is like comfort and soothing reads, and versus scab picking, which is like more difficult. And I got it at the time, but this is the first time I'm like in it. I've never been hit with such a wave of like I don't fucking trust this person, and like in regards to the author, which is an entirely emotional reaction, and I'm aware that this person's probably really nice and a good person, but yeah, that was a really strong reaction, and I hate the book. But it is also interesting, which is why I'm gonna keep going with it. It is a buddy read and I could pull out, but I am also like very interested in not necessarily confronting, but seeing where this is coming from and how it works in me. I finished a book for a readathon, the historical romance readathon. It was The Large Dice by Jeannie Lynn, historical romance crime. It's book 2.5 in the Pink Ang Lee mysteries. I've only read the third book. It's really hard to find like physical copies of the first two, and it is the meeting between the hero and heroine in The Hidden Moon, the third book. And it's great. It's really great, and I loved getting to see them, to see more of them. It was really nice. I missed her family as well. So I'm really happy with it. It's a 5-star read. And now also the historical romance readathon. Also, I think the Reindeer readathon. It is Silk Swords and Surrender. Also by Jeannie Lynn. I think these are 5 stories. I think they're from her Tang Dynasty series, which I also have not managed to get my hands on, but I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, my old laptop, a bit of a chonker. This screen is a design from Canva for the Sci Wuxia Whip, which is sci-fi wuxia. Not what I'm working on right now, but it's nice to see it. I've posted a dozen versions and snippets of the first chapter, so I'm not scared of showing this. I'm really happy with what I've been doing. Bonsoir, I finished The Touch of Moonlight, which was the first story, and it was so fun. I really loved her scheming and his slow realization that actually he quite liked her. There was a lot of like pining, which just amazing. Also, as it turns out, the Lives Dice, like Silk Swords and Surrender, is on both the historical romance readathon TBR and the Reindeer readathon TBR, so I'm doing very well this month. You know, I remember like on Tumblr this thing came up, and it's like if you're gonna live your life, you need to kind of live it like a Ghibli movie. You need to romanticize it. You need to, you know, seek the joy in the little things. And I'm gonna do that. We've got the fancy fizzy juice and the velvet brownie, and I think I'm gonna just make it like an event. Gonna try and dress up for the next one, like my comfy wool dress, and make it a thing. I don't think I've ever been so out of breath in my life, and I didn't cook, so I'm stuck until the fucking thing finishes. The line, "But when I saw you, I realised I didn't know how to seduce a man, so I just thought it would be easier to kill you," is amazing, and the rest of the story is just... it's not very good. I know that tropes kind of go in and out of popularity, and this is an old collection, well, older, so I don't really want to begrudge at that it's just stuff that I don't like. But I really don't like when, you know, she's strong, but then this guy comes around and he's stronger and he saves her. I really don't like that, so I'm just gonna comfort myself with some ice cream. I grabbed myself some cake last night because I thought that'll be nice, and then I did not get to sleep at all, so it's breakfast now. I did finish the second story, The Taming of Meilin, yesterday, and fucking damn it, Gillian. My issues still stand, but that last chapter, individually I'd give it 4 stars. You got me. It's the 12th, it's the last day of the readathon. I didn't realise we'd gotten quite that far. I'm on the 3rd story, which I'm really enjoying, and I'm kind of mad about. It's really hard to find the first 2 Pink Ang Lee books, and this of course is tied to the Tang Dynasty series, which is also quite hard to get a hold of, but it's so good. It's so good, and I just really want to read the book that it's connected to. The brothers sound so interesting. I know I should be reading Last Day of the Readathon and all that, but I had this wee fragment and I felt like writing, so I'm doing that. I just, those, I always really wanted to do one of those like old Tumblr kind of type, like the 5 times they didn't kiss and the 1 time they did. So, here we go. I'm still pretty topsy-turvy, sleeping during most of the day, but I did get to the talk yesterday, which was really exciting. It was in human relationships in Pakistani dramas, and I'm so excited because I've got 3 new shows to watch. Only one of them has subtitles, but can't have everything. I'm pretty sure actually this one isn't a romance, but it has a ghost, I think. This is one of the romances, and I think this is the other. I didn't actually get the third name down, but yes, like I said before, it's the Sprintathon, and the first prompt is get a reading snack. So I actually have tea behind me, but this is a pandan cake from the Waukee Chinatown Bakery, the lychee ice cream from Yikwan, which I'm so excited about. Like, I really like the salty caramel, and the matcha is like the first matcha thing I've ever liked. But lychee is just one of my favourite things ever. Candy cane and apple cider, and I really hope it's not going to be peppermint because that's going to be so disappointing. The first book prompt is choose a book that you're really excited about, and this is it, The Duke Heist by Ridley. It was recommended by Rose Lerner in her newsletter, and she described it as Leverage meets the Bat Fam. I'm not sure what to think of the Duke Heist yet. There was a lot of exposition in the first chapter. Like, you get all of the backstory. It feels like just all of it. Them, their dad, the guy that is connected to the thing that they're trying to steal, and it's a lot. Chapter 2 is easier because it's just the Duke. There's not an entire gaggle of characters. In chapter 2, if it continues like that, I will enjoy it. Speaking of books, I haven't spoken about the Midnight Library in a while. I will. I just have thoughts. Heist, I think that's how it's pronounced. I remember seeing this definition. It was like longing for a home that isn't there, that maybe was never there, and I knew immediately that is it. That is Autumn Moon. I'm not entirely sure at which point that becomes clear. Choyue is a lot of things. That kind of introspective and self-aware is not really one of them. I had a really good time today, which was kind of surprising given how stuck I was at the beginning. I went above and beyond my word. The goal thing, 1,814 words. We're past 7,000 now, and it feels really good. I've never written this, but this was always something that happened. It was getting from place A to place B, but I just never wrote it. I'm kind of happy that I have. I'm kind of happy that there's like a blueprint to take from in future drafts. I forgot it was book group today. I have read this before. It is just one of the most amazing poetry collections, and it's pretty short, so I can get through it again. Yeah, just completely slipped my mind. So, I feel vaguely like I'm gonna die, but it's okay.
Hey, puff.
Yeah, lot after puff.
Bullet points outside. None of it has got a wee hint of coffee in it. There's no chocolate and coffee.
Bonsoir. It has been a long day, and my symptoms have been really bad. So we're only gonna start right now. We are coming down the mountain, and I think I might just skip until we are down the mountain, you know? I've been getting like a really good word count boost, but I think, you know, there's only so many times you can talk about snow. And it was about 15 minutes until book group as well, so this is probably not going to be a very productive day. Just pulled it on and this was apparently stuck in it. I have been feeling so bad the past few days. I thought I'd do something really nice and grab myself another ice cream. Because they've all blown me away except for the lychee one, which was, I like the wee bits in it, but I just love lychee and it was too subtle a flavour for my personal taste. And I've just realised now that I've gotten it up, I grabbed the sorbet, the alcoholic one. I'm going to have it because otherwise it's going to melt, and I'm not going back downstairs, but like, wow. So I'd say surprisingly really nice. It's another subtle one, which I am really enjoying because I don't really like the taste of alcohol. It's really nice. I only got 265 words yesterday because it was a bad day yesterday, and we're kind of having a bad day today as well. But we'll see what happens. I'm taking a 5-minute breather. I've gotten to 8,810. And I have like just under 300 words to go to meet the goal, which is good. Sorry, the words are just slipping away. I don't think anything here that I can talk about really. So the Marquis hires Choyue to kill this tomb robber and then double crosses her. So actually I'm just gonna this paragraph. The Marquis's manor had been vast. It was not his ancestral home, though she recalled that he might have mentioned family there. It could have housed 10 generations and still held room for servants. He had led her through the winding maze of corridors, unable to sit at peace as he snarled about the desecration of an ancestor's tomb. Yes, we finally got our Christmas cards done. Really got into stickers this year, so I thought they would make a nice wee touch. Those two are by Nightastic, and this one was from a Fairy Loot box. The last time that I picked up the Midnight Library, I just had this revelation that for all, you know, and again, the author talking about, you know, helping with depression, whatever, fine, that's fine. What you've actually written is fucking torture porn. Like, I'm glad it helped you, but it's it's torture porn, and I was so convinced of that. And now we've gone on to like the fourth life, and yeah, like if I wasn't convinced before, I'm absolutely convinced now. Also, sorry for filming in the dark like this, but it just hurts so bad. Like, the CFS is really bad right now. I'm getting like no benefits from sleeping, but I'm so exhausted all the time, and I have like this dehydration headache, except I'm drinking a lot of water and it won't go away. So the dark it is for like another half hour. Because my friend has invited me to the cinema, and it's unfortunately for West Side Story, but also I've not seen any friend since this entire thing began, and I'm so excited and I feel so shit. So I thought that was pretty great actually. I wasn't really keen on it to begin with. Like, it's not really my type of music, and I don't really go for that era of musicals, but I really loved it. I thought the filmmaking was really good. The songs were better in the context of the film. Unfortunately, my ear kind of went weird. Like, you know, when you like swim underwater, like that, which was unfortunate. It's still kind of like that, and I don't know why. But then I got home, and like, just when I thought the day couldn't get any better, I made my first sale through eBay of like one of the old Fairyloot pins, and I'm really excited about that, which means tomorrow is not going to be a rest day, unfortunately, but you know, exciting. Oh boy, baby, you ever just know that you're not gonna fucking make it? These 10-minute breaks, man, it's just amazing. When I went to Encanto, my beloved Doc Martens just gave me like the worst blister in my left ankle, and it's still not healed. And now, trying to get out of here and grab some rice pudding, I've fucked up my right ankle. I walked straight into that fucking like shelf that I took out, that I sometimes sew on, and my foot is bleeding. Hello from the floor. I dragged myself to the door. So I'm not going to be walking to the post box, which is a shame, but Good morning. It is morning. I woke up at midnight and haven't gotten to sleep since. But I finished the flat share, so I started Foxglove Summer, which is on the Reindeer Readathon TBR. So while I'm probably going to completely flunk out of Sprintathon, there is that. I've been unfortunately awake from like midnight to 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon for a while now. Not a routine that I'm enjoying, and I cannot do it. I can't lie down. I can't do it for another day. So I came down for what was that like? If you have depression, you should treat yourself like a pet. You know, like enrichment. Because I'm feeling a wee bit like that. It's a bit snippy. Hello, this beauty came for me today from Words and Kisses, which is an independent romance bookstore, one of my favourite stores. So I got Rebel, A Duke Who Didn't, A Full Love Story, and the Christmas blind date was a book, well, festive. There were 4 options. Also a sticker because free shipping. Hey, so I've gone from 8 to 23% in the Duke Heist. I'm liking it so much better. Now that I've, actually progressed into it, I really like how they're both so blatantly misinterpreting one another. Like, there's a lot of real kind of fun stuff with that. I also appreciate that there is so much character work going on. Vanilla hot chocolate drink. I'm also on chapter 3 of Foxglove Summer, which is really different from all the other books. Like, it's a lot slower. The first two chapters are both like 44 minutes each, and it just feels slower and duller, and that's entirely Peter. Like, it's just oozing from the text and from Cogna's wonderful, wonderful voice. And like, I'm devastated for him. Just the series started and he found out magic exists and he was so excited. There was so much possibility, and now it's like book 5 and everything that's happened, and the last book's ending. It's like, wow, he deserves to be sad, and also a therapist. Also, this is nice.
And the other one was shut. So while they had them, I thought we'll pack them in somehow.
Thank you. So I guess I forgot to take all of my order upstairs. And one of my parents moved it here. I did it. I finally got back to writing today. And I've crossed the 10,000 word mark. We had a fighting fantasy game for book group. And we just all played through it, taking turns, making choices. It was really fun. I wouldn't call it good, but it was really fun, and I'm really looking forward to the next session at 7. It is the winter solstice here, and I am kind of shitting myself now at the thought of going into 2022 with like 37 books am I currently reading. I do not want to do that. So the plan is focus on Silk Swords and Surrender and the Cornish Horror Anthology, because anthologies are easier to get through and I feel more accomplished when I do that. So we're just trying to get through it and get through it feeling good so that, don't encourage the slump. So these are books I finished but I haven't categorised yet. Arcs, unopened box sets. So I thought I would put these here, which are YA series that I have multiple books from. I think they're YA anyway, but which I haven't started. Also, did I ever mention that this book arrived? The Shelf Above is a series that I've started and haven't finished. I'm really tempted to just go for the Dragon Ridge Tombs because that's quite a short one, but I really hated the first book, so I thought I would treat myself tonight because I've not been sleeping well at all. It's getting worse, so a treat. Chocolate miso actually sounds kind of bulk, but I really don't like matcha and the matcha green tea was probably my favourite, so that is delicious actually. It's wow. But also we ordered the sample box on Black Friday, and we got like 10% off for that, which was really nice. Also, this, like, we didn't order the top, but it just arrived, which was nice. The author says she took as much time researching the short story as she did the book from the series that it's attached to, which could be really good or really bad. The author also compared it to like westerns and that is where my problems lie. Like, the comparison did not make me feel comfortable, and I guess if you know someone for years, you can kind of tease them, calling them a barbarian. She has not known him for years, and he is her servant, and I hate it. These arrived. Really excited. Missing a book. The publisher doesn't ship directly to the UK, and I don't speak Spanish. I can't write in Spanish, so this will be fun. So I've drafted a message, which is basically, hi, I bought 3 books, La Mujer de Terracotta, Las Marias Negras del Cielo y Los Hilos Rojos de la Fortuna. I know I can't, but I have Terracotta Bride and The Black Threads of Heaven, where is The Red Threads of Fate, thanks. I don't know if Esta is the correct one, but that's what I've got. And of course, because it is a slight inconvenience, I have decided to treat myself to ice cream. Vegan chocolate. It's not my favourite. It's very chocolatey. I would say though I wouldn't be able to guess that it was vegan. I don't know if you can see the breaks in the spine. They basically stop before an illicit temptation, and I get that. It has kind of gotten a little repetitive, and also, like I said, a lot. The Catans being seen as barbarians did make it a little uncomfortable for me, in her interactions with him, and I get that, but also I didn't like it. There was a lot as well that I just didn't like, and which has recurred a lot, but I do appreciate that the end did what it did in the moment and how it recontextualized the entire story. Good morning. I had 2 fairy loot packages arrive yesterday, so I'm going to go over that briefly. But also, today is mango and passion fruit. First is Kingdom of the Wicked, which got a little bit bashed, but apart from that, it has been just lovely. The embossing is just absolutely breathtaking. This was the bonus book. It looks kind of retro, so I'm probably not gonna read it. And this was the book of the month, Year of the Reaper. The embossing is of course gorgeous. This completely knocks it out of the park. Just look at this. Look at them. I will say though, Yiquan, delicious ice cream as always. Maybe don't double print your lids, because I almost had a heart attack. The plan originally was to come up at bedtime with the hot chocolate, which is really nice. It's not as artificially sweet as the other ones, and open my festive blind date with a book and just do that before going to sleep. But I finished Silk Swords and Surrender. The last one was really sweet and lovely, and I loved it. And also American Hippo, which I started in January, so I'm going to treat myself now. I'm so excited. I've had this author on my to-read list for years, and I've just never gotten around to her. And this looks so cute. I'm not going to read the blurb, I'm just going to read the book. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm not gonna dislike this character because of it, and it is cute. how kind of nerdy she is about it, but like, please never compare Scotland to like Scottish romances. I was a little bit concerned the way that their dynamic would play out, but you know what? Like, they're absolutely as adorable as this cover. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Rudolph, are you watching? Elsa, Daisy, and Leash. Oh, there's more to come.
Mum, it's blowing in me.
Golf looks nice on you. That's alright. Right, if we good. If we good. And 1, 2, see. Here we go. Yay. Oh, that's great. Oh, look at it.
It's on the floor.
Like, they'll find you. They'll find you. Yay.
It's still blowing about. Merry Christmas from me and Ernest. I didn't get much reading done last night. We were watching like 70s music shows and learning about my parents when I was younger. I did, however, finish chapter 6, so I'm about like 53 pages in out of 125. I really like it. We kind of got to a rapport between them, and I'm so glad. They're so cute. I'm so mad. I'm too tired to go downstairs, but this is making me so hungry. Look at this. I've wanted this for so long, and it was so hard to get a hold of, and you couldn't buy it on its own, but it's here now. It's a bestiary of the classic of mountains and rivers by my favourite artist. Just look at this. It's not doing the colours any justice, but like, wow. But also shout out to this. It is a corset pattern off of Etsy, and yeah, I really need to sleep, but I'm actually not going to. Love spending time with the family, but I really miss having time to write, and also trying to sort out the WorldAnvil thing. But also, like, especially and specifically, I wanted to do like a serialized story, and I started one at the beginning of the year, and I was supposed to also do one in December. I started like chapter 2 of this back in, I don't know, February, March. I really want to get it finished before the year is up. Of course, you weren't actually supposed to dance at this movie. It's a tea pit, if you didn't know.
What?
Don't be mad.
What?
What's the cake again?
Chocolate orange ball.
Yay! I love this film, but this song is gonna kill me. I finished 2 books today. Mangoes and Mistletoe, which was delightful and joyous. I gave it 5 stars. It made me so happy. I'm really glad to have found the author. And also Foxglove Summer. Forever in love with Cobna Holbrook-Smith's voice. And I'm so happy for Peter. I'm glad he got to scream, and I like the mystery. I like learning about Thomas and Molly, and I liked that he felt supported. It turns out I finished 3 books for the Reindeer Readathon. Liar's Dice from way back in the beginning. Is it just gonna like, okay, yeah, no, it's just gonna, we're not doing this. So the good news is I actually feel a little bit rested. The bad news is I woke up to the sound of what is possibly a tail coming off the roof. Hey, so we're trying this again. I'm gonna be focusing on the Duke Heist at the moment, and in a glass darkly. I'm going to DNF the Midnight Library. I still have a lot of thoughts, and I'm probably gonna just put it in a post. Yeah, so it's really interesting, my reaction to it. But I also, like, at this point, my friend finished it for the buddy read, and I really do not want to put myself through the rest of it, no matter what it might tell me about my own reaction. I'm just want to end the year on a happy note, or at least not a miserable one, you know? And also, I'm like this close to being able to get this chapter of High Rise up before the end of the year, and that would just be perfect. I've just finished this short story, which is related to the Crane Wife, and is really lovely. Doesn't seem the right word because, you know, like, content warning, abuse, but yeah. I said I would DNF the Midnight Library. I'm also DNFing Dreamology. I started this, I think, in 2020, and I am very curious as to how it ends, but also I'm not invested enough to last that long. I'm also going to take the 13th off of my currently reading because the author is uploading this to her podcast, Eldritch Girl, and that's not going to finish until next year, and I'm going to just binge it then. Also, the short story Small Monsters by E. Lily Yu, I also just read that right now, so we're currently at 144 books read. The painting in this book is just delicious. Bonsoir. I finished the Duke Heist early this morning and I hated it so much I'm going to probably film my December wrap up. I need to rant about it. And also the Midnight Library, which will probably also be getting its own post, because that was something. Yeah, so I finished it and I hated it for assassinating his character, and now that it's like 5 o'clock at night, I'm like, it assassinated hers too. Like, she spent all this time, you know, talking about how the nobility and all that are so selfish, and then she goes and pulls this bullshit. Yeah, no, I don't buy it. I have been steadily working all day on High Rise. Usually the chapters go up at like 10 or 11 a.m. I might get this up tonight, which is fun, which is what I wanted. But it also occurs to me that I haven't done my yearly rereads, and I know it's just time has been slipping through my fingers, and I hadn't realised, you know, that there is none left, basically. So I'm going to start One Life, One Incarnation, Beautiful Bones, and we'll see if we can move some books off into the want to read category to bring it down past. I don't want to go into 2022 with like 31 books on my currently reading. Also, before I do this, this is something to keep in mind. I'm gonna end the year with a little bit of glamour and green face, apparently. Bitch, yes!